back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Today we're going to be going over the trade targets for the Miami Dolphins coming up. It's going to be Halloween, I believe it is. That is the end of the trade deadline. And, you know, here's the thing with the Dolphins right now. We are getting a lot of players back from injury. So we could possibly not trade for anybody, you know? And here's the thing, people are forgetting that we already made a trade. We got Chase Claypool, so it's not like we haven't made a splash in the trade deadline. We have gotten Chase Claypool, and Chase Claypool could turn out to be a very good pickup. But, you know, at this point, unfortunately, Isaiah Wynn has gone down. That's unfortunate because Connor Williams is also down, and so is Terron Armstead. So 3 offensive linemen are injured at this moment in time. Now, Terron Armstead should be coming back soon. Connor Williams as well. But here's the thing. Terron Armstead is steadily injured most of the time. Isaiah Wynn's going to miss some time. And Connor Williams, as it's seen with Liam Eichenberg now, I think when Connor Williams fully comes back, I think they're resting him so that he can fully heal from whatever this groin situation is. But unfortunately, Isaiah Wynn is gone. A lot of people are talking about the defense. I think it has steadily gotten better each week. I think there's different things that are being implemented that are getting there. But there are some issues sometimes. It's weird. It's a weird situation that we're in right now because about a week ago, I would have been dead set on a linebacker, or I would have been dead set on one of the other things. But the way that we played against the Eagles and the past couple of weeks that we've been steadily growing on this defense, I mean, like I said, I would be cool with just having Chase Claypool as the trade, and that's it. I'm not too worried about that. But we'll jump into a couple of the names that I think we can go for. Starting off with number 1, Zach Ertz. I don't think we really need a tight end. I don't think the tight ends really have much use in this offense. It's so much more dynamic with the receivers. And I think Durham Smythe does a fine job. I think he does exactly what he needs to do. And so does Julian Hill. I think Julian Hill does exactly what he needs to do. I don't think we need to have another guy. You don't really pass the tight ends the ball too much. And again, I think Durham Smythe, I think he does exactly what he needs to do, and it's fine. So moving on from that. Now, offensive line. I don't see a lot of names, but the one that does pop out to me is from Minnesota, Ezra Cleveland. He is a left guard, and I think you would probably have to send maybe a 4th or something along those lines over to get him, maybe a 4th and a 5th. But again, Isaiah Wynn being out, Lester Cotton did a decent job. I mean, there was a bunch of different things that could have been called against the defensive player that was against Lester Cotton. But you kind of want a starting caliber player at that position. So this is one of the ones that I could see the most sense happening. Ezra Cleveland has been he's not going to dominate, but he's a decent left guard. He's been in the league for a little bit, and he's a decent left guard. And you give up a 4th rounder, you know, I think you get another starting guy there. Again, I'm one of those, unfortunately, you know, I love Terron Armstead, but the guy is always injured. So I don't consider Terron Armstead a staple left tackle. I don't consider him that because he never stays on the field the entire season. So that's kind of a big issue. Connor Williams is dealing with stuff, and Liam Eichenberg is already hard to watch sometimes. You know, God bless him, but, you know, he just, I don't know. It is what it is. You know, against the better teams, Liam Eichenberg cannot stand up. So I think one of the most sense would be trading for him because we need starting caliber offensive line. Not only do we need it to protect Tua, but the way that this offense runs, you need the offensive line to be on point, or else it's going to throw some things off. There are a couple plays where you see mix-ups with the offensive line, and it throws Tua's footwork off and all of that. And the thing is with Tua's footwork is the most important thing because that's how he has such accuracy. Is he puts his feet in the right position, launches that ball into a space that nobody can get except for his receiver. So you can't really have 3 backups in, and the way that it's going, you know, there's not many other players that can fill in after that. And like I said, you cannot have 3 backup offensive linemen playing in these professional elite games. I think honestly what is killing us the most, the Bills and the Eagles game. Both games, we were down offensive linemen. All the other games we had our guys. Obviously, Teron Armstead has missed some time, but the times where we had Connor Williams in, the times where we had Teron Armstead in, it's a different offense, completely different. And now, unfortunately, Isaiah Wynn is out. We cannot have backups on our offensive line. It needs to be sturdier. There's too many moving motions and moving things that go on our offense for us to have backup offensive linemen. You need to get someone if, some of these players are going to be missing a decent amount of time. So that would be my thing. As for linebackers, last week or the week before the Eagles, if you would have asked me if we needed a linebacker, I would have said 100% we do. But the way that David Long played against the Eagles, and even Jerome Baker, they looked like different players. They looked like they could hold their own. So before I would have been like, we need Devin White, we need Levante David, we need all the. I don't think we need those anymore. And if we do make a trade for anyone, I think it's going to be Josey Jewell. The guy on the Broncos, he's a tackling machine. He's headed the offense for a while. And I don't think you'd give up more than I would say again, a fourth or a fifth for him. And he could be one of those players that comes in. Now, again, like I said, if David Long plays like he played last game, don't think we need a linebacker. I think Jerome Baker and David Long both played pretty well last game. But if you were going to trade for one, you definitely want to get that dynamic, run-stopping, field general type of linebacker, and that's what Josey Jewell would be. I think the Denver Broncos are in a fire sale right now, so I think that would be one of the names that you could target. You don't have to give up a lot for him, and he would be a guy that I believe he also played in the Fangio-style defense, so you would be able to just plug and play, and he gets it already. Like I said, maybe if they wanted to get some crazy splash, but I think a lot of people, yes, we want to go to the Super Bowl this year, but the thing is, building a dynasty, you want to keep your draft picks. You don't want to spend. We did the spending of draft picks to get the players that we needed to get. Now, getting a linebacker, you don't need to spend a first-round draft pick. That's why the Devin White thing, I don't want to spend all of our draft picks because, again, Devin White was a first-round draft pick. So what if you just get a Devin White on a rookie contract instead of having to pay him hundreds of millions of dollars? That's key here, because if David Long, like I said, if he plays like he played last game, which he's starting to kind of come on, we're fine. We have good linebackers. Like, we played really well against the Eagles. Defense played very well. On top of that, you're going to be getting both your starting corners back plus your starting slot guy. I mean, Kader Kohou, I think at this point is a starting slot guy, but you're getting starting caliber players, 3 corners coming back. That is going to make a huge difference, and I think it's going to take a lot of the pressure off of the linebackers. They're still going to need to play great, but I think what happened last game at the Eagles was not the linebackers' fault. It was just the corners couldn't keep up with some of the guys, and we couldn't bring Jalen Hurts down. And there were a lot of holding calls that were not called. I think that would be the linebacker that you would need to trade for if you wanted to make any move like that. Now, Chase Young, I don't think we need to trade for him, but that is another possibility. Brian Burns would probably be the more reasonable guy if you feel like maybe you need to move on from Bradley Chubb, or, like I said, I doubt any of these, but Brian Burns is out there. You also have even Montez Sweat from the Redskins as well. Either one of those guys, obviously you're going to have to give up a lot, so I don't believe we're personally going to make that move. I think, Bradley Chubb played decent last game too. Everybody played very well last game. It's just the corners couldn't keep up with the wide receivers, and the quarterback kept evading sacks. Now that you get your starting corners back, it's going to be a different story. It's going to be what the defense was envisioned to be. So that's why I don't think you need this. And again, there's Patrick Surtain to Patrick Surtain the second. But again, I don't think you need a corner. I think we have plenty of corners. I think if you're trading for Patrick Surtain, you're going to have to give a bunch of first-round picks. And here's the thing you have to remember. We got Cam Smith. Cam Smith next year will be in the starting lineup, 100%. This year he's learning from Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard. We have 2 excellent corners. Now, of course, you might be moving on from Xavier Howard, but if you're doing that, then you can draft a corner in the draft. And again, if nobody trades for Patrick Surtain, he probably will be available in the offseason too. So it's not the biggest deal to have to trade for someone like that. So like I said, basically what I see happening with this trade deadline, yes, there's Devin White, Patrick Surtain, Chase Young, all these different guys, but I see us trading for, giving away fifth or fourth and getting an offensive lineman or a linebacker, one of the two. That's all I see happening. I don't really see us making huge splashes because I don't think we really need it. I think the team is pretty well put together, and I think the way that it's going, these next couple games, we need to get everybody back and push and get these wins. And then the bye happens. And then we get all of our players back. Most likely after the bye, we get every single person that was injured back. Devon Achane, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Teron Armstead. I don't think anybody else is out. Maybe even Isaiah Wynn. I don't know what the circumstances are for the injury, but get him back. You get... maybe you even get Izukama back, or I think Craycraft is coming back. You get a lot of your starters coming back into the lineup. It's going to make a big difference. That's why I don't believe we're going to make huge splashes. But there are a couple players that we could target. I like Ezra Cleveland the most. I think he would be the guy that we would most likely benefit from the most. Because even still, you just need, offensive linemen on this team. But, Josie Jewell is another. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But as always, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up, baby. Peace. Praise God. Love God.